Let's talk insulin resistance. I'm Dr. Stacy Francis, and this is one of my favorite subjects. Insulin resistance is also called pre-diabetes, and my whole goal is to help my patients and my community prevent diabetes and heart disease. So when you eat food, that food gets broken down as it goes through your mouth and you chew it up, and then it goes through your esophagus into your stomach, and your stomach acid breaks it down, and then it goes into the small intestine and gets broken down even further, because all you want to get to is all those great nutrients, because that's what feeds our cells. And so it needs to get through the small intestine into the bloodstream, where it can travel and go to all the cells everywhere in your body. All those nutrients are important because that's your fuel and your repair. And when you eat high glycemic foods are high sugary foods like cupcakes and crackers, and it's really just flour that is absorbed so very quickly, as opposed to like oatmeal, which is a whole grain, or cauliflower, which is a vegetable, also low glycemic. And those things come in slowly. Low glycemic foods trickle in, where high glycemic foods like flours and sugar, cupcakes and cookies and things like that pour in, like it just dumps in, and it comes in so fast that your body doesn't have as much time to handle it. When that glycemic food comes in, let's say it's low glycemic, let's say it's carrots and broccoli and cauliflower and asparagus and even oatmeal. If it's slower glycemic, then what's going to happen is it trickles in, and your body has enough time to have that turn into sugar in your bloodstream. Carbohydrates always turn into sugar no matter what they are. In your bloodstream, that blood sugar surrounds the cell that it needs to get into. It is not allowed to just go knock on the door and say, "Here I am, I'm coming in." What happens is that presence of glucose around the cell signals your insulin, your pancreas, to release insulin that has the key to open the lock of the door. It can open up the cell. It sends a signal. What it does is it lands on the cell, insulin lands on the cell, and a message goes into the cell where there is a little vesicle that comes up, and it becomes one with the wall of the cell, and the cell opens up, and now you have channels that glucose can just fall right into the cell. When glucose gets into the cell, you feel full and you have energy. And that's the whole purpose. It gives you the nutrients you need to repair and to build muscle and to have a good metabolism. All that's necessary for this to work. But when you eat high glycemic foods like cookies and candy and flour, like pasta and bread, lots of pasta, lots of bread, that comes in so quickly that your pancreas says, "Oh my goodness, I see all this glucose here." And so it sends out just a mess of insulin just to take care of it. And so now you have insulin landing on those insulin receptors, but they're like beating them down. And the more you do this day in and day out, it wears down those insulin receptors. And so the signal into the cell gets quieter and quieter until there is no opening of the door to the cell. And the glucose stays outside the cell. And so when your doctor pulls blood from you on a blood test, they will see insulin and glucose hanging around in the bloodstream. And we don't want that. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. And if it's roaming around the bloodstream, its sole purpose is for you to store fat, usually in your belly. So let's make sure that we're eating a lot of low glycemic foods, a high glycemic treat every so often, but typically day to day, low glycemic foods, proteins, and healthy fats. Have a great day. I'm Dr. Stacy Francis. Talk to you soon.